Hi, I'm AJ Mitchell, and I'm hanging out with Rob on Front Row Live.
Luckily, I was stuck in traffic. It was like an hour or something drive, so I got to listen to it over and over.
Okay,
and I'm really enjoying it. Like, I'm really enjoying the EP. Let's talk about this debut EP.
Yeah.
And, you know, take me into the studio. What was that creative process like for you?
So, I've been in the studio for about a year now, just like creating so much music, just trying to grab the ones that we feel the best. That's for this EP, and so I'll give you an example. So, Girls, going to the studio, I met up with this guy named Romans, and he had this bass line for me, and he played it for me, and I was like, oh wow, this is really cool. So I went to the mic and I just did a vocal pass over it, and we kind of placed it where we wanted it, and it just came about like really quick. And songs that, you know, go about really quick, most of the time those are like one of the best songs.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, like, what do you want to write about? He's like, well, what's on your mind? And I was like, well, girls. So I was like, oh, well, that could be a good title. So that's kind of how that song came about.
It's a great introduction to the EP too.
Yeah, exactly. So that's kind of how it works out. Just really like, what's on your mind, or what do you have? What are you thinking about lately? And that's how it kind of gets started.
Now, I know, aside from Romans, you had other producers you kind of collaborated with on this project. One of them being Andrew Wells, who's mainly known in like the pop scene with you know, Fall Out Boy and like 5 Seconds of Summer and artists like that. Like, what was it like going into the studio with a producer of that kind of magnitude? Like, you know, how did he kind of challenge you in the studio as you created the track? Yeah,
so when I walked in, I was like, there was a lot of like songwriters there, so I was like, all right, this is cool. So I had to memorize the song. I was like, I'm not gonna walk in there and not know this, or like not have it memorized. So walked in, went in the booth, and started singing it. And like, he was like, all right, do it again. It has to sound exactly like this. I was like, all right. So, and you know, he's big. He's worked on a ton of stuff. So, you know, it was a little overwhelming, but like the more I started doing it, I felt more comfortable with it. And he was like, all right, now I know you're feeling it. So like, we just did it a couple more times, and then he's like, all right, it's done. I was like, oh, cool.
Now, why was he the perfect producer for Hate That I Love You?
I think his style was like, it's kind of like swaggy, I guess.
Yeah.
And it was just like, it felt really good. So that's why he produced it.
Now, we were talking earlier how like this EP was kind of, you know, some time in the making for you. You know, as you were writing these songs, there was a couple other co-writers as well that you collaborated with. Like, what is that experience like for you to sit down in a room with, especially new people, to work on music and write, you know, lyrics and stuff that, you know, you feel, you know, passionate about? Yeah,
it's definitely different, because I started writing songs as a kid and I never co-wrote with anyone. So coming to LA, it's definitely been a lot different writing with other people, but it's also been really cool because everyone writes differently. So I've learned a lot of cool stuff from so many different people. So I think it's been amazing.
Is there any one thing that kind of sticks out to you when you collaborate with these co-writers? Like, do you write, I mean, how different do you write your music today?
I write not too different from how I used to write, but just like I write a lot more mature now, I guess.
Okay.
Working with a lot of like older songwriters, I learned a lot of like tips on what to say and like what not to say and how to like word my sentences. So
now, and as you keep writing new music, like, how do you feel like you're getting better at your craft? Like, what do you do to get better at your writing? Do you just continue to write? Do you read books? I mean, how do you perfect it?
Yeah, just keep writing all the time. And I actually, a friend gave me this book. It's called like the songwriting book. So just like read pages that definitely give a lot of good tips. So, and just always writing, just practicing.
Now, tell me more about this debut EP, Hopeful, the EP. You know, the 6 tracks that are on there. Why were these tracks so like special for you? Why did they make it to the EP as opposed to, you know, scratching them and putting something else?
Yeah, these songs made it to the EP. I mean, we have a ton of songs, and I think we have so many songs, but I think we just chose these ones because they all just felt really good, like all together. I don't know if that makes sense, but they just felt really good, and they all meant something to me. So it's really cool.
And as you're creating these songs, like I was talking to you earlier, there was a couple songs that aren't on the EP that you released previously to the EP that are a little different. It's more of a, you know, EDM kind of vibe. Like, as you're trying new things with your music, like where do you really see your music going? Do you have your sound already? Is this the sound that we can expect for AJ?
Yeah, so in the beginning, those 3 songs that I released before I signed with Epic, those are songs I wrote earlier in the stage of when I wasn't working with new songwriters. Right. So I was kind of in that like older space of when I was writing, like not as mature as I am now, which is really cool with these songs because they're a lot more mature. And I think where my sound is going towards is like a lot of like cool like 80s kind of sound, like different from what's out right now. Yeah.
And talk to me a little bit about your vocals. Is this something that you grew up knowing how to sing? Did you take any like actual proper lessons to sing? Because your vocals are insane on this debut EP.
Thank you. I've always loved singing, and I was alright in the beginning. And I was on social media one day, and I saw this guy. His name's Avery Wilson. Actually, he's an amazing singer, and he was just doing all sorts of runs. And I was like, damn, I wanna be that good. So
well, you made the run sound like really easy. I tried to do them in the car. I told you. I put my windows up and I tried to do them, and it just didn't work.
Oh man, all it was just practice. I watched all his videos, and I practiced his runs every day, and like added my own to it, and I just did it every single day until I could get it down. Right. Every day.
Now, did those runs kind of challenge you while you were making these songs like I Don't Want You Back? That's where, specifically towards the end, that's where, you know, I tried to hit that that note, but it's like, man, it's tough. So, you know, what was that like recording that track in the studio, especially during those runs?
Yeah, I mean, that song, it's like really emotional, and like, as an artist, I guess I'm like emotional as well. So when I get in the booth and when I'm singing, just like melodies just come out of nowhere, and I just really like feel it when I'm singing. So those runs were just like, they played it and I was just riffing over it, and that's kind of what they use. Right.
I guess we're just going to talk about every track on this EP. Tell me a little bit about Hopeful, which is the title track of the EP.
Yeah, so Hopeful, the reason I want to name the EP Hopeful is because my whole journey has always been hopeful, like posting covers on Instagram and even posting original music, hoping people react well to it. Right. Like hopeful that people would enjoy it. And to even releasing this EP, hopeful people will listen to it and share it, and I think a lot of people can relate to that as well. So that's why I want to name it Hopeful. So
did this track kind of come first before all the others, or was it Girls that was the first track that you said, okay, this is going to be the EP?
It was actually Girls, but then when I did write the song Hopeful, that's kind of when it came together, and I was like, that's it. Right. That's it.
So where, I mean, if someone were to listen to the EP for the first time, like where would you want this EP to kind of take them?
I kind of want, like, listening to it, how I feel when I listen to it, it's just like believing in yourself and like believing in your dreams. Like when I listen to it. Right. That's kind of what I hope other people can take from it. Right.
Now, as you move forward, you're about to do an LA show tomorrow. What can fans expect? Like, I know you've done, you know, a few showcases, but what can fans expect when they go and see you live?
They can expect to see a lot of different things, for sure, because I'll be playing the guitar. Nice. They've never seen that before.
That's what I was going to ask, too.
Yeah, cool. So lately I've been getting guitar lessons, and I've never played guitar before. I've always messed around on it, but I never really, you know, learned how to play it. So they'll definitely be looking forward to that, and also have some special guests coming out.
Nice. Now, since you mentioned the guitar, while you were recording the debut EP, did you actually have a role in any of the instrumentation as well? Did you perform any of those instruments?
For Hopeful, and actually for some of the songs, like most of the time I'll go in the studio and I'll have like melodies, or I'll have chords already ready. Right. So I think for Hopeful I had chords, and then that's kind of what we used for Hopeful.
Right. The EP's out now. You're officially on Epic Records. Congratulations, by the way. So, you know, what are the plans for AJ Mitchell for the remainder of the year?
For this year, I know this summer I'm going to be doing a lot of radio promo. Okay. So I'll be doing like West Coast, going all the way down, and just songwriting a lot. So I think in every city I'm having like songwriting sessions and just like keep doing that.
Now, for those fans that don't know about you or your music, who is AJ Mitchell all about? I mean, why did you choose to write music? What's your reason for that?
My reason for that is because when I really want people to relate to my songs. So when I write a song, I want people to listen to that and be like, oh, I can relate to that. Okay. And I think that's really cool.